It's about that time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of City Views, brought to you by our fine sponsor, Toth Insurance Agency, located at 1151 East Main Street. Better protection, better value. We're so excited about today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, because we are premiering our newest segment entitled ChamberViews, with our collaboration with the Northwest Connecticut Area Chamber of Commerce. And doing our first today is John Pignatello with First World Mortgage. And let me tell you, I've been looking forward to this interview for so long because this dude has got something going on, all right? And I think that by the time this interview is over, if you're not ready to go out and purchase a home today, then you didn't get the essence of the interview, okay? So we're going to make sure that we hook it up for you. John, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's been a long time, man. It's like we tried to get you on a couple months ago. We had some technical difficulties, but as it worked out, the timing for this is perfect, as you will be our first business for our new ChamberViews segment. So we're really excited about that.
That sounds good.
And you didn't come by yourself, man. You came armed and ready to roll, man.
I did.
And you got your boy with you. He's going to be also included in the interview, and he's going to be sharing some data points with us and giving the undergirdings of why First World Mortgage is breaking barriers and making it happen in the city of Torrington and throughout the region as well. So first of all, John, tell us how long First World Mortgage has been in business and when you got involved.
First World Mortgage has been in business over 27 years. It's family owned and operated. And I got involved probably 4 years ago now, going on 4 years ago. I started out in the automobile industry, and I was a finance manager in automobiles. And how it came into play with mortgages is, you know, my wife is actually a hairdresser, and she was cutting the owner of First World Mortgage's hair, and she was telling him, you know, basically what I do for a living. And he says, hey, listen, if your husband is ever, you know, wants us to change careers, you know, have him call me. And you know, one day I called him. I started doing it part-time, and succeeded in doing it part-time. And then he opened a whole branch for me. So, you know, I kind of owe him, you know, I kind of owe him a debt of gratitude, because, you know, without him, I couldn't do this.
Well, but I think it's interesting, John, because in today's economy, you really have to be innovative and think outside the box in order to survive. And when we talked a few years ago on my radio show, one of the things that came up was the economy was making demands on you to maybe make another business decision as to how you were going to go forward with the business that you were currently working with your wife on at that time, which was the hair salon. And being and understanding how these things work, you made that transition. Talk to our audience a little bit about that mindset that goes into making those really life-changing decisions, and how you need to really understand what your skill set is going forward to making sure those decisions work for you and your family.
It's basically like changing with the times. You have to change with the times, because if you don't, you know, you could be in a bad spot. And we kind of bring that, my staff and I kind of do that to our clients that we work with here. You know, it's not only, you know, we don't only sell them, you know, mortgages to purchase their house. What we do is, you know, we build their credit if they can't buy a house right away. We work with them over 60, 90 days and get them to that point where they can buy a house. And, you know, by the time they come out on the other end, not only are they homeowners, but they have A+ credit and no debt. So, you know, we could show them an easy way to do that. And we take pride in that every day.
That aspect of your business model is a community building component, and I think young entrepreneurs such as yourself these days, they have a different take on their business endeavors. Yeah, making money is always important, and turning a profit and keeping that bottom line is vital to your business surviving. But I think young entrepreneurs such as yourself, understand the aspect of relationship building. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I mean, my staff and I, how we go about our business on a daily basis. Most of us here are homeowners, or have owned a home at some point and had our own experience with our own, mortgage professionals in the past. And, if it was a good experience, we try to take from that and kind of, put that onto our, mimic that to our new clients. But if it was a bad experience, I think the bad experience actually plays a bigger part, because that's not, we know what not to do, what is, what's not good business practice, calling people back, returning emails, let them know where they are in the loan process, letting them know, what to do to build their credit to be able to buy a house, and just not give them just a basic no, come see me, come see me in 6 months. I mean, we're not about that. It's not about come see me in 6 months. It's like it's about sit down with me, and I'm gonna tell you what to do to get into that house that you want right now.
Well, I think it should be stated, because most people would probably think with the pandemic going on that, housing sales would be rock bottom right now. But I think that you're experiencing a little bit of a different take on the situation. You want to address that?
I'll let Mike take that one, because Mike, like I said, he's been seeing a boom. He's out in West Hartford area. He's been seeing a boom, with his business. So I'll let him take that question, if that's okay.
That's perfectly fine. Although I must say this, if Mike was approaching me to buy a house, there's no way with that mug I could say no.
That's how it is usually.
Sell me, Mike.
So I got you. So basically, we just, like you're saying, with the pandemic, with COVID going on, with everything that's kind of iffy in the world right now, you would think that, houses are rock bottom, but I think the feds really did come out and really help us out. I mean, the rates are low. The rates are the lowest ever. I mean, a lot of people back in the day used to take ARM loans out just to get the low rate in the beginning, and then kind of, refinance and hope for the best. And hopefully they could refinance, or maybe take balloon payments. At this time, I mean, with the rate so low, it's 30-year fixed mortgages. Me being in the West Hartford area, closer to like the Hartford area and all that, I got a lot of friends, because I am on the younger side of things, where, they're paying tons of money for rent. So it's not like they're going above and beyond their means. I mean, you go to downtown Hartford or something like that, you're paying, nothing less than $1,800 for a one-bedroom apartment. And if we compare the $1,800 to what a mortgage could be, what a house could be for that mortgage, I mean, that's a minimum of $250,000 house. And in different areas, obviously, that equates to different, size of house or whatever the case might be. But especially out here in the Torrington, Litchfield area, 250 is going to get you a lot of land. So, especially with everything going on with homeschooling and you needing a little bit bigger space, we got a lot of people that just want to kind of upgrade their houses. They need that more space, and they realize that being home more because they are home more. And before they're out and about, kids are at school, you're never at home. You're coming at home to cook, clean, and go to sleep and do it all over again. So I think the big thing is people are definitely realizing, hey, if I got a chance to do it, this is the time to do it. Like I said, the rates are low. There's a lot of stricter rules with COVID, but at the same time, they are a little bit more lenient as well with, how to get mortgages done. And I think we do a great job at First World with kind of, not just kind of reading the paperwork, but, listen to the story of the person trying to buy the house and seeing if we could do something for them.
Now, for those first-time home buyers, coming into the market with these rates? Are these fixed rates over 30-year mortgages,
Yeah.
or?
100%. They're fixed rate over 30 years. We do different mortgages as well, different years, 30, 25, 20, 15 as well. I mean, but like I said, a lot of people, they want to pay their mortgage off. They want to pay their house out in 15, 20 years. But because the rates are so low at 30, it makes perfect sense to do the 30 years. And if you have a little bit of money left over every month to pay a little bit more to close it out in 15, 20 years, you're more than welcome. But at the same time, the rates are so low, there's no reason not to do a 30-year mortgage. Just because.
I'm sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, I mean, obviously, with everything that's going on, everything that's up in the air, you always want to have a little bit of a lower payment and just pay more instead of, building your whole mortgage into a 15-year mortgage. And now you got a high payment you got to worry about. And with, everything going on with job security and all that.
Now, with rates being this low, could we see a situation where you might have record not only first-time home buyers, but multiple homeowners?
100%. I think this is the time for first-time home buyers. I think this is the time to definitely come out. I bought my first house at 25. In 2015, and I mean the rates were good then. I thought the rates were great then, and and I was at high threes, low fours. But now your rate, I just you lock rates. We lock rates every week, and we're locking rates at less than 3%. I mean, if you got the money to do it, and you think you got you're paying rent already, anything above $1,000 worth of rent, you should 100% definitely look at looking into a mortgage and buying your house. Because as a lot of people say, the best thing to own is real estate.
Jacque, I want to touch on something else too that our listeners should really think about. Because of COVID or because of anything, student loans, debt, credit cards, maybe they lost their job, but they're back to work now. I mean, Mike and I have done a lot of loans where, because the housing market, even during COVID is up, people are overpaying 20, 30,000 for homes in the area, which is making the neighborhood's median price go up. So people that are looking to refinance their house, that think their house is only worth 200, well, now it's worth 230 or 250, and now they only owe 120. They could take money out of their house, pay off all their debt, and with the rates now, be at the same or a lower payment. So people are taking. So we're just, here at First World Torrington, I mean, right now, Mike and I are in the conference room where basically all the counseling goes down. I say counseling because that's who we are. We're trying to better people's lives altogether. We take a look at their credit. They tell us, what happened in their past. If they were divorced, my credit's like this because I went through a divorce, or my mom was, I heard, my mom was sick, so I couldn't work. I had to take care of her. We look at everything. See, at First World, we try to find something to make us say yes instead of find something to make us say no. So, I think that us building back credit, getting people in a house, and when they get to that house, when they turn around and they look at where they are with no credit card debt, their small personal loan is paid off, their car is paid off, and now they're in, a home. I mean, that's what we really work for. We don't just, we don't just show you the door and tell you, you know what, just come back and see us in 6 months when you're a 650. We don't do that.
I love your approach, because I think that's so important today, because there's a lot of people out there who the only reason why they haven't purchased a home is because they don't know the ins and outs of how to. And by you guys being caring enough to actually build the relationship with the customer, working on their financial situations to put them in that place where they can purchase a home, I think that for all those who maybe think that the American dream is no longer, I think that might reassess their perspective on that, because that is the crux of the American dream: home ownership.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like I said, we take pride in trying to find a way to say yes rather than a way to say no.
Now, one thing I do want to compliment you on, John, is your exquisite advertising on Instagram, dude. anyone
Yeah.
anyone who sees any of your ads, man, they're gonna call you just to see, like, dude, who does your ads?
Yeah. Yeah. I get a lot of messages, Facebook messages on those ads. People just, hey, I was working with this lender, they couldn't get me done. Can you help me? I have 2 loans right now going through that came from another lender that turned them away. Come back and say, that's why I keep bringing that up. Come back in 6 months. I saw your Facebook post, or I saw your Facebook ad. You think you could help me? So those are. I mean, I do them myself. We do have a business development department, but I feel that and most of my crew does all their ads theirself, because I feel like rather than just a robotic post like, hey, rates are low, call me. If they could understand that I could put something up saying, call me right now, rates are low, I saved somebody $1,200, and a simple thing as to play AC/DC or a Drake song in the background, they're going to give you a message, because you know what? Because you become real to them at that point. You're a regular guy. You know AC/DC. The Rolling Stones. They just something changes when they hear that music, when they see that meme. Something I think, and that's the way advertisement is going nowadays. So I'm putting myself in their position. If I saw that, and I saw another guy just put up a random picture saying, call me, the rates are low today, I think I'm going to call the guy that's playing Drake, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to call the guy that's playing the Rolling Stones. Because he's like a regular guy. He's like and that's what we are. We're regular guys. We're regular guys that take interest and take pride in helping other people. Because all we work for, yes, I know we get a paycheck, but this is not like the car industry, cell phones, where we're upselling you. There's nothing to upsell. Our main goal is just to get you in a house. And we do work for money, but we also work towards that basic Zillow review that's going to tell people, like, you know what, these guys help me out. I'm living in a house I never thought I could. I mean, I think I posted my Zillow reviews the other day. I mean, that's what I work towards. And some of them, you get kind of emotional because the people are getting emotional in front of you at the closing table. So it's just, listen, I love what I do. Hopefully that that comes off in the advertisement. I have fun making them, and if I could get 2 people calling me because they like the Rolling Stones, great.
Well, JP, I got to tell you this, bro. According to Mike McAllister, there is nothing regular about you.
Yeah, well, that's great.
And you've been on my radar for a few years now because, as I mentioned earlier, the interviews that we had at the radio station before just impressed upon me how very unique small business person that you are. And when I saw that you entered the ring as a financing official for housing, I knew then that you were onto something that would probably be sustained for quite some time. So I want to congratulate you on your efforts. And I want to thank you and Mike for taking the time out to talk to our audience today. And we also want to congratulate you for being our first ChamberViews segment.
Thank you very much.
We're going to be running this for the next month so we can make sure that everyone gets the word and knows where to come to in terms of their mortgages and their first home buying opportunities. So this is what community is all about. And I'm so glad to see that you guys are carrying on the mission of not only doing your business, but building the community as well. It's very important.
We appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Jacque. And everybody that doesn't know where we are, right next to Webster Bank on East Main Street, 1152 East Main Street in Torrington. Walk-ins are welcome. You don't need an appointment. We also, if you're passing by, we have our phone number up there. It goes right to the main phone. And we also post today's rate, and that rate is a 15-year mortgage. And just so I could tell the viewers here right now, 15 years, new house, 2.375. So it's low, and we can if we can make it happen for you, we will make it happen.
And I gotta add this too. If you're in the market for a first time home, and you go to First World Mortgage and you see their offices, you're gonna want to buy a house. Because when I first drove by there, I'm like, oh, that's such a nice looking house, and then I'm like, oh, that's a business. Yeah. So it's pretty cool the way you got that situated up there, right across from our sponsor, Toth Insurance Agency. And if you guys are in that part of town, I think you're going to see the development that's going up on the top of East Main Street. And we're happy to see that First World Mortgage is a player in those developments in that part of the city. So once again, we want to thank you guys for your time this morning. And let's talk here and let's get back together. And you can update us on some of the market rates and the movings that are going on in the business and in the industry.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a good one.
John Pignatello letting us know what's going on with the home buyer mortgage market here in the city of Torrington and throughout the region. So make sure you contact First World Mortgage for your first-time home buying needs.
Thank you.
City Views.